everyone, it's Killshot 99 Gaming. This is Playdead Live. This is Ship Strike, and this is week number 5. We got really, really good matchups for you guys tonight, and it will decide some of the standings as we get closer and closer to our end of season tournament. Are you guys ready to get down to business? We got a great bomber bundle in store for you guys tonight too. But the question I always ask when we see that video is, whose ship is that sinking tonight? You know who you're playing. You know who you're going against, and we need to bring it. It's date night, right? So we need everybody in full effect tonight. Before we get into tonight's match, I do want to show you the standings. That's why we play. We keep score, of course. So take a quick look. We've got Ark at 3-1, Sly at 2-2. In fact, last month we played, Sly gave Ark their first loss of the season. Will it be revenge tonight for Ark, or will Sly stay hot and move into first place with the win? We got Vox at 2-2. We got Jet at 1-3. Another rematch, and that's a revenge game because Vox beat Jet in a epic finale last year. And then you can see for the next couple months what we got lined up. So, you guys, are you guys ready to see a super bomber for the ages? Give me triple nines in chat right now if you're ready for the super bomber bundle, because I might have added something a little bit special, a little bit extra tonight. Might have. But we got to wait. We got to wait to see it, to see if it's worthwhile for everybody. All right, there we go. We got some people rolling in. I see you. I see you. All right, here it is. So because the match has to start exactly at 8:30, I'm going to take you to tonight's epic super bomber, and it's loaded with our standard grenades. So Grizzly, you're going to be glad you have a lot of these Grizzlies, especially when we get to Castle Strike, and especially when we get to PvE on Friday night. But by my count, that is 20 Grizzly grenades. So that's a lot of Grizzlies. Rapture, Oracle, Lithium, Seismic Vapor. All of these on the screen are in groups of 2. So that's 2 Rapture, 2 Oracle, Lithium, Seismic Vapor, 2 Snowstorms, 2 Gen, 2 Red Eye, 2 Top Hat. Your Whammo Extreme, that is a really, really good ammunition bullet. You got 2 Unicorns, 2 Grinches, 2 Glitch, 2 Milos, 2 Maximon. A lot of scoring there. 2 Unforgiven, 2 Trex, 2 Summoning Grenade, 2 Spade, and 2 Sweet Tea. And I'm going to give you these items. And remember, the specialty items are always in groups of 1 because they're special. So check this out. You got a Sad Grenade, a Doricho. All these are by request. These were on the list. Everybody wanted these added. So 1 Sad, 1 Doricho, 1 Dracaris, 1 Trance, and a Gamut Grenade. So does that get you guys going? Wait. Hang on. I'm getting a message here. Wait, there's something else. How about a second Gamut Grenade? We're going to add a second Gamut Grenade. We're raising the bar. We're upping the ante a little bit. So, Kel, if you can post, we got a lot of people picking these up tonight. This is your reload. Wait a minute. Hold on, there's something else. This has never before been added to a super bomber bundle. In fact, I've only seen it one time. All right, might as well tell you. Look, I'm going to give you the unbelievable Saint Olga grenade. It is the highest scoring grenade in the game, and look at that damage. That's right, it was in a reload, but that is a none with a gun. I mean, look, that is throwing a big grenade at the wall. 25-point Saint Olga grenade. I told you guys we were going to hook you guys up. I mean, we don't mess around. We do super bomber reloads. That is your firepower. You can't win without some amazing grenades. So, pretty excited. Also, I'm going to go ahead and give you an R12 because, you know, you need a little firepower to throw with it. And I might as well add a Rad Rage to go with that bad boy as well. There you go, Kel. Let's see who got it. You got an R12, you got Rad Rage, We gave you an extra gamut grenade, so that means you're getting 2 gamut grenades. We've never done 2 gamuts before. And we're giving you the St. Olga as well. So that's a pretty crazy reload. I see Trigger, I see Jim, Animal, Doc, Villar, Dimes, Cat, Julia, Football, Dow, Pope, and Kel. We do have a match Wednesday night, so if somebody is not here for any reason, they can get the Super Bomber on Wednesday night as well. But that's last chance you're going to have to get it is tonight or Wednesday. All right, awesome stuff. Take note. That's some firepower right there. I see Trigger's going to be throwing some heat. Jim's going to be throwing some heat. Julia Villar always throwing heat. Dow and Pope. Kel, Football, Animal, situational, but you know. And some of those grenades might be used tonight. All right, sounds good. I would assume you're getting more messages because we've never added a St. Olga before. Animal better be throwing some heat. That's why you're called the Animal. You're not called the stuffed doll. You're the Animal. All right. First match of the night, everybody, and this is going to be a great one. We got Jet is traveling to Vox. And Vox won a tough one against Jet the last time. It was a heartbreaker for Jet. Vox, y'all might have forced Crimson into ship strike retirement. She was here last time, and I think Vox sunk her ship, and she's like, you know what? I'm staying off the yachts. Crimson might be on solid ground going forward. But we'll send her a life raft, see if we can get her in the next one. Here we go, everybody. Tonight's lineups are as follows, and we'll start exactly at 8:30. For Team Jet on the road, we got Kel as the captain. Kel will be followed by Busy B. Busy followed by Solstice Sean. Then Hendrix. And then Problem Child. For the home team, we got Trigger as the captain. We got Father Ron, Nightshade, the Disciple. And you're probably like, why is the Disciple? Because the Disciple never got a card. Only had the full avatar. So we got Disciple using the new avatar. And then we got Sir Tim. Sir Tim is one of the best ship strike players, in my opinion, in the game. So, there you can see the teams. Remember, captains, you have a blue, you have a prevention, and you have a legend. And remember, with Snarky, you're going to let me know which direction, north, south, east, or west, if you play Snarky. We got things like life rafts. We got things like Navy SEALs, torpedoes, sonar, so many different items. Let's see if you can use them in captains. I need you to be on point. Remember, I'll read it twice, and then it will launch. We are starting exactly 8:30. Kel, you are up. First move of the night. Let's go, Kel. Good luck. Nothing like a good game of Ship Strike on a Monday night. Kel's going to have to read those messages later. That's why they're messaging you. Kel going to play Seal now. Remember, can't play a Seal, so type no Seal, Kel. When you play Torpedo, no other actions. Can't be stopped, but there's no other action. So, A6, D4, G2. So, A6, D4, G2. One of those three is a hit. And remember, it can't be stopped. I can't tell her which one, but one of those three is a hit. Kel playing a torpedo in round number 1. Smart move, in my opinion. But she's not sealed. So it is a risky play. And if it was more than one, I would tell you, but it is only one. All right, Trigger. You're up. Trigger playing a seal. And then going bunco. And bunco is A1, H1. All right, and I'll read it twice, so be ready to go. Bunco, A1, H1. It is en route. A1 is a miss. H1. Is also a miss. All right, let's go to Busy Bee. Busy dropping a seal. And Busy is going bunco. D4, G2. Bunco, D4, G2. All right, trigger, it is en route. Busy, one of those two is a hit. Guess you narrowed it down a little bit. Father Ron, you're up. And remember, captains, if you want to do anything, you got to say wait before I say it's en route. Father Ron playing a seal. Fox chance to move into first place tonight if all the cards are right. Father Ron, what type of grenade will you be using, sir? Can you type bunco in chat? Father Ron with a bunco to E4, G6. Bunco, E4, G6. Is en route. Ron, one of those two is a hit. Both players with some info. All right, let's go to Sean. Solstice. Solstice, you're up. And Sean, you don't need to send me your moves. You just need to post them in YouTube. All right, Solstice, can you post that move you sent to me in YouTube chat? All right, Kel, can you type it? I've got it until he gets logged in. That's fine. He can send it to me until he gets logged in, and we need to get him to type it in chat. All right. That's not the move he sent me. All right, guys, we got to try to get this ironed out. We got Vox waiting, and you know what we may want to do is practice some of these for the real thing because we're live, and live the clock is ticking. So all right, have him try one more time to send me a move. But he needs to cut and paste the correct move if that's what he's sending me. And then he'll have a little bit of time. I don't want to rush him, but I want to be fair to Vox as well. So I'm going to give him 15 seconds to send me a move. Otherwise, we're going to skip. All right, Kel, if you can type the last move you posted. Looks like he's going to play a seal and a snowstorm to D4. All right, seal. Trigger, you got seal and you got a snowstorm to D4. All right, read it twice. It's en route. Snowstorm's going to create an ice block. We'll put it right there. D4 is a miss. Our first official miss of the game. All right, Nightshade, you're up. Nightshade, seal, Grizzly to E4. Nightshade playing a seal, Grizzly to E4. Kel says wait. Kel immediately playing a blue to shut it down. All right, Hendricks, you're up. Nightshade thought he had struck gold. Kel says, nope, I'm playing blue. You struck blue. Kel will be playing Henny and MPC, of course. Henny playing a seal. Going snowstorm to G2. Snowstorm to G2 is en route. And it's a hit. So they get the snowstorm credit. All right, and because trigger, you got to say wait, and you got to do it before I say en route. Okay? So, yep, go ahead and delete it. But once I read it twice and it's en route, it's happening. So go ahead and delete that from the screen. You still have your blue. All right, because a player did not die and because there was no seal, that gives you some info. Ron is up as the disciple. Disciple dropping a seal. Snowstorm. To E4. Hold on. Trigger, you can't say wait when your own player's throwing the grenade. Angel's so excited. She tried to stop Henny's. That didn't work. She tried to stop Ron's. Trigger, slow down. Delete that blue. What are you doing? Oh, boy. All right. Kel says wait. Kel going to use the prevention on the snowstorm. All right, but we are freezing. All right, but Kel's used her prevention, so all that's left is a legendary. MPC, you're up. All right, MPC dropping a seal. MPC throwing Bunko to G1 and G3. Bunko, G1, G3. Is en route. One of those two is a hit. I think Kel was hoping both of them were hits, but we don't reveal anything. I'll just tell you one of those two is a hit. All right, let's go to Sir Tim. Trigger, get ready to prevent your own player's grenade again if you want to. Sir Tim is dropping a seal. Bunko, E5, F5. Bunko to E5, F5. Is en route. E5 is a miss. F5 is also a miss. Interesting. And that is the end of round number 1. Crazy round. We'll see if anybody learned anything. Kel, you're up. Round number 2. Ship Strikes is a lot of fun. We're going to make it more fun. Got some good buffs out there that are going to make it even more creative. We're seeing them tonight. Back to the top, we got Kel. Kel playing Snarky. Kel, you have to give me. you guys, come on. We do this every time. Snarky, give me north, south, east, or west. All right, east. All right, since it's east, it is random. We're going to put Snarky right there. And they're playing Pontiff. All right, did Snarky hit? So you know what we're going to do? All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do with Snarky going forward. So it's just not completely random. I'm going to let you pick the letter and the direction. That may give you a little bit more data late in games, which is okay. So going forward, you're going to give me the letter and then the direction. So Kel said C and then east. So we're going to put it right there. So if you were to say 4 south or 4 north or C west, that's the way we're going to do it. So C east. That'll help you guys out to narrow it down a little bit more. I think it'll make Snarky a little more fun. All right, Snarky on C east. Did we uncover anything? C8 is a miss for Snarky. Kel played a seal on herself, and they used a legend to pawn if that seal. Kel is not sealed steel. And Grizzly to G3. Now, because they said wait, play to Pontiff, Grizzly to G3 is en route. G3 is a hit. And obviously, you got 2 hits. We know it's a ghost ship and it hasn't sunk. Kel with the hit. All right, let's go over to Trigger. Trigger, you're up. Snowstorm to E4. Snowstorm to E4. Kel says wait. Snowstorm will freeze another block on the Vox side, but Kel says wait on the Snowstorm. Don't use it. Don't use it. It's too new. I knew we were going to use Busy's Judas. All right. Busy. Going to redirect it. That Judas is getting some mileage already. That means all will hit going forward. Busy just wanted to type it. Judas. To redirect a Snowstorm. G4. It is a hit. And we do get our first sunken battleship. Congratulations, Busy. Jet with a 3-bagger to start out the game. And because the snowstorm was redirected, both teams get a frozen block. Because when it's thrown, you get the frozen block. And then when it's redirected, you get the frozen block as well. In this case, Busy, you're also up. Now, Jet has no more preventions, no more blues, so that'll speed up just a little bit more. Max Seal over to Kel. Bunko, A2, C5. Bunko to A2, C5. Is en route. A2's a miss. C5 is a miss. Father Ron, you're up. And they can't do anything about your attack. Father Ron, there he is. Now you can't play Vines to Kel because you don't know where Kel is. So no Vines. So the Asian the Asian translation kicked in again. And I'm going to read it just because it's funny. Well, could be very innuendo as well. But Ron typed no vines and it said, don't come. What the actual hell are these translations? I just want to screenshot it for you guys because I'm reading Ron like, oh my Lord. It's what it says. Oh boy. And Ron, because I feel like you need a good souvenir, I'm actually going to I'm going to drop that in trade chat for everybody. Just as a nice little souvenir for Ron. There's so many follow-up comments that I can get with that, but I'm just going to stop. All right. Now Ron threw a sad grenade. Now, there's a couple problems with this. One, even if it hit a sealed target, Ron would not get a second attack. But here's the thing, Ron. Kel played a little okey doke with you because E4 is a miss. E4 is a miss. So did not even break a player's seal. Little clever gameplay by Kel. All right, let's go to Solstice. I got his move. Kel, if you can type it. Solstice going bunco, D8, E6. D8, E6. All right. Trigger, bunco, D8, E6. Is en route. D8 is a miss. E6, also a miss. All right, Nightshade, you're up. We're at the 30-minute mark. We got 30 minutes to go. Snowstorm to B6. Snowstorm to B6 is en route, and they can't stop it. B6 is a miss. Henny, you're up. Bunko, B3, B7. Henny playing a bunco. B3 and B7. All right, bunco is en route. One of those two is a hit. One of those two is a hit. You're not making it difficult for him, are you tonight, Trigger? I can't read it any slower than that unless I read it backwards. All right, one of those two is a hit. Disciple, you're up. Bunko, C4, G2. C4 is a miss. G2 is also a miss. MPC, you're up. Grizzly to B7. Grizzly to B7. Trigger says wait. Gold blue from Trigger. They still have a prevention left. All right, Sir Tim, you're up. Bunko, C1D1. A lot of the map starting to get uncovered. C1 is a miss, and D1 is a miss. So even though Jet has the early lead, a lot of X's on the board on Team Jet side. All right, we're getting ready to start round 3, but before we do, let's check Snarky and see if there's anything in C7. Snarky checking out C7. C7's a miss. Kel, you're up. Grizzly to B7. Kel playing Grizzly to B7. B7 is en route. And it will break Sir Tim's seal. Trigger, you're up. I'm going to send a max seal back over to Tim. Bunko to A8, D7. A8's a miss. D7 is also a miss. Busy B, you're up. Busy going Bunko, B7, B6. Now we do know that one of those is a hit, but remember the rule of Bunkos. If you already know the target, and we did reveal that Sir Tim was one of those targets, you don't get to treat it as a sad grenade. So definitely one of those two is still a hit. Whether it's more than that, we don't know. All right, Father Ron, you're up. The only time a Bunko will reveal is if you don't know one of the targets that's been hit. Ron going Snowstorm to G6. Snowstorm leaves a little ice path, and G6 is a hit, and it breaks Sean's seal. Solstice loses his seal. All right. Solstice move. He's going Vines to Sir Tim, and then Grizzly to B7. Kel, if you can type that. Vines to Sir Tim. He's going to get rid of his seal. And then he's going to throw a Grizzly. To B7. Trigger says wait. Going to prevent the Vines, which is fine. But then the grenade's going to hit. So either way, he's going to lose his seal. $51, half dozen the other one, right? So we're still, Tim has no seal because of the hit. So either the grenade was going to hit or the Vine's going to hit. All right, let's go to Nightshade. All preventions, all legends are done. So from now on, I will not read it twice. I'm just going to let them launch. "21 minutes to go. Nightshade. Going Vines to Solstice, but didn't really need to because he's not sealed. So the Vines are used, but they fizzle. Sad Grenade to G6. Sad Grenade does hit. Solstice going to res and restore. He has died, but he can continue to play, just can't be sealed. G6 is a hit. All right. Nightshade. Give me your grenade and where you're going to direct that second attack. I need the grenade type and where it's going. Snowstorm to G5. G5 is a miss. Kel, you're up with Henny. Henny, Snowstorm to B7. Snowstorm to B7 is a hit. Sir Tim, res and restore. Sorry. Sir Tim, do not res and restore. It breaks the ice block. B7 was a frozen block. Tim is still alive. Ron as the disciple. Ron as a disciple. Your move. Max Seal, Sir Tim. Snowstorm to H6. H6 is a miss. But they are freezing the pond. Kel, you're up as MPC. Vines to Tim, sad to B7. Vines to Tim works. Sad to B7. That is a hit. All right, Kel, you're up. Your second move with MPC. Snowstorm to B6. B6 is a hit. Breaks Nightshade Seal. Sir Tim, you are up. Vox needs you in a big way. Everybody remember, there are a couple ways to either get rid of ice blocks or to add ice blocks. Vines will get rid of ice blocks, and the new pet, the Navy Seal, will also get rid of an ice block if you have it, or the Navy Seal can add an ice block. Bunko, A5, G8. A5 is a miss. G8 is also a miss. All right, we are going to go up to Snarky. Snarky is going to break an ice block. Kel, your move. Round 4. You're never out of it until the game is over with Ship Strike. We've seen people have almost no information and sink a ship by throwing just the right grenade at the right time. Sad to B6. B6 is a hit. Nightshade, Res and Restore. And Kel, throw your next grenade. Snowstorm to B5. B5 is a hit, and it breaks Trigger Seal. Trigger, you're up. Got to get Vox on the board quick. We got 12 minutes. Snarky, F West. All right, Snarky going to try F8. Good play by Trigger getting that Snarky out there. And it is a miss. Sad to F6. And it just breaks the ice block. Remember, Sad has to hit a target. So she does not get a second attack, but she does break the ice block. Busy, you're up. All right. Trigger is not sealed, so you still play the vines, but you didn't need to. And a Sad to B5. Trigger, Resin Restore. Jet getting a second boat. 2-0. Busy. Throw your next grenade and let us know where you're throwing it, what type of grenade. Busy has now sunk 2 ships. Bunko, C1, F7. One of those two is a hit. One of those two is a hit. Ron, you're up. And I got to tell you, it's looking a little rough right now. You got to work some magic somehow, some way. Ron, Grizzly to E6. Grizzly to E6 is a miss. Sean, you're up. I don't know, Ron. I don't think all the scuba gear in Play Dead Live's gonna help you guys tonight. Y'all need some scuba gear. Y'all need some life rafts. Maybe even a few dolphins. A few dolphins to ride you around. All right. Sean going Grizzly to C1. Grizzly to C1 is a miss. Kel, type that, please. Grizzly to C1. Nightshade, come on. Get us on the board, Team Box. Still got a couple more turns. You never know when you get that first boat sunk. Anything can happen. Sad grenade to F6. F6 is a miss. That definitely narrows it down. Hendricks, you're up. Henny, Bunko, E7, G7. One of those two is a hit. Ron, you're up. The Disciple trying to get Vox back in the game. Vines to G7, Grizzly to G7. Smart play there. Vines gets rid of the ice block. It's what he needed to do. Grizzly G7 is going to break Busy's seal. MPC, you're up. Max seal back to Busy. Grizzly to F7. Grizzly to F7. Going to break Father Ron's seal. Sir Tim, you're up. 4 minutes to go. Can Sir Tim get the job done? Max seal Ron. Sad to G7. Max seal is good. Sad to G7. It does hit. But they rebuffed Busy. So all it does is break Busy's seal. All right, round 5, Kel. Snarky. Going to C6. It's a miss. Kel, your move. Vines to Ron. Sad grenade to F7. Ron, res and restore. Kel, second shot. Where are you going to throw it? Grizzly to E7. Grizzly to E7 is going to break the Disciple's seal. Trigger, you're up. Sad to G7. Busy. Resin Restore. Trigger. Getting Vox on the board. Trigger. Give me your second attack. What are you throwing? Snowstorm. All right. And that is time. If Busy would have gotten one more move, she could have achieved the first ever hat trick in ship strike history. All she needed to do was sink that final ship. She would have had the first hat trick of sinking 3 ships in Playdead Live history. But the game ends with Jet 2, Vox 1, Jet going to 2 and 3, Vox dropping to 2 and 3. And Jet gets revenge. The 2 teams are now tied. So, great match between both teams. So, pretty balanced league up to this point. Now, the next match is going to determine who goes in first. So, we know that we've got Jet at 2 and 3. We got Vox at 2 and 3. But we got Ark coming in at 3 and 1 and Sly at 3 and 2. Appreciate that, Angel. What a great game. Even losing feels like winning when you spend it with family. Well said. Well said. All right. We got another game to go. We're going to have a little fun, everybody. So let me take you down to the Ark port. And tonight's starting lineup is as follows. We got for Team Sly, Captain is Dimes. Then Ocean Man, Tiny, Animal, and Football. For Team Ark, the home team, we got Valar. Then we got Julia, Jim, Dow, and Pope. The game is starting at 9:32. Dimes, you're up. Let's go. It will end at 10:32. This game is officially for first place in the standings. But the other teams are not far behind. Remember, captains, I will read it twice early in the game, and then I'll say en route. Where you at, Dimes? Snarky, North 4. Dropping a seal. Put it in the right place, right there. Bunko, A3F6. All right, so we're going to start with North 4. That would be H4. Snarky missing early. Bunko, A3F6. A3F6 is en route. A3 is a miss. F6 is also a miss. All right, Valar, you're up. What you got, Valar? Do we have Valar, captain of Ark? To make sure she isn't lagging, because as a captain, you don't want to be lagging. All right, Ark, we're going to give her 10 more seconds, and then we got to skip. We're actually 3 minutes into the game, and she is first to go. All right, there we go. Valar going snarky, north 2. A2. Snarky's first attack is a miss. Bunko and a seal. So Valar throwing Bunko to B2 H1. Bunko, B2 H1 is en route. B2's a miss. H1's also a miss. Ocean Man, you're up. Ocean Man dropping a seal. Bunko, D3, E5. Ocean Man going Bunko, D3, and E5. Bunko is en route. D3's a miss. E5 is also a miss. Julia, you're up. Julia playing a seal and a grizzly to snarky. Grizzly to snarky. Grizzly is en route. Snarky is dead. Tiny, you're up. Tiny dropping a seal. Bunko, G4, A8. And while we decide whether that grenade's en route, I did want to announce, I was so excited Busy almost got the hat trick. Busy was the MVP in game number 1, sinking 2 ships, and Busy gets a badge of valor for being the most valuable player. And close to making history, no one has ever sunk all 3 ships. All right, I just wanted to make that announcement. So we got a seal and then a Bunko, G4, A8. Valar says wait. Valar playing a blue. Maybe they're on to something. Maybe Valar bluffing early. You never know. Kel did a great job last game, but every game is different, right? Gemstone, you're up. Jim dropping a seal. Jim going Bunko, E7, C6. Bunko to E7, C6. Now, Dime, I'm not sure with you guys. A lot of times this happens. Somebody says wait, somebody says wait. Are both bluffing, are neither bluffing? A lot of gamesmanship going on. Either way, we've had 2 blues played already in the first couple turns. Animal, you're up. Animal dropping a seal and a snowstorm to G4. Snowstorm gets a little ice block there. Animal with a seal and a snowstorm to G4. Snowstorm, Villar says wait. They're going to Judas it over to E7. All right, playing a legendary. Dimes. Snowstorm is redirected, which means Arc also gets a little frozen block for the redirect. And Dime says wait. You're going to Judas it back to G4. Y'all having too much fun with this, aren't you? Now, because they Judased it back, it gets another frozen block. Every time it's redirected. Villar says wait. So one play to blue, another play to blue, one play to Judas, another play to Judas, another play to Judas. So here we go. And now Villar's playing a prevention. All right, Arc is out of Legends, Preventions, and Blues. So we shut it down. All right, so that started with Animal. Dow, you're up. Snowstorm to E7 with a seal. Dime says wait. And Dimes used the prevention. So we're all out of preventions. We're going to be flying. All right, so there you go. All preventions, everything used halfway through round 1. Okay. Let's get busy, everybody. Football Master, you're up. Dropping a seal. Snowstorm to G4. Were they bluffing? They were not. Julia loses a seal. Pope, you're up. Max seal over to Julia. Snowstorm to E7. Were they bluffing? No, they were not. Animal loses his seal. Look at that. Talk about a mirror game. Like, unbelievable. These teams were spot on. And no bluffing required. So we're going to find out how they play their other items. Dimes, you're up. We got a little info in both teams. Deadly Dimes, round 2. Vines to Julia, sad to G4. Vine's going to break Julia's seal, sad to G4. Julia, res and restore. Dimes. Give me your second grenade, your second attack. Julia continues to play, but she cannot be sealed. Dimes, second grenade, second attack. Grizzly to G5. Grizzly to G5 is going to break Jim's seal. Dimes is on to something. Villar, your move. See if Villar's on to something. Still early. Both teams playing pretty even. But who knows? Will we see scuba gear? Will we see a Navy SEAL? Will we see more Snarkies? Vines to Animal, sad to E7. Now, the Vines was kind of a waste because he was not sealed. But sad to E7. Animal, res and restore. Villar, second attack. Give me the grenade and where it's going. Now you can see why sad grenades are so powerful. Snowstorm to E6. Snowstorm to E6. A snowstorm is going to freeze this block right there. And E6 is en route. E6 is a miss. Ocean Man, you're up. You can see the level of detail in these matches because one wrong Vines could have been a max seal, right? Sad Grenade to G5. Gemstone, Res and Restore. Ocean Man, give me your next attack and the type of grenade you're going to throw. Our 5th ship strike game of the season, and super, super competitive. Grizzly to G3. That was a good pick. Valar lost her seal. Julia, you're up. Max seal Valar, D7 Snowstorm. Julia playing a Snowstorm, getting a nice little path there. D7 is a miss. Tiny, you're up. Tiny, Vines to Valar. Sad Grenade to G3. Valar, Res and Restore. Tiny with the first ship sink of the game for Team Sly, and it is a 3-seater. Tiny, give us your second attack and the type of grenade you're going to use. Bunko, H1, D8. H1's a miss. D8 is also a miss. Gemstone, you're up. Sad to E8, max seal to Pope. Even if Sad would have revealed something, it likely would have had a seal, so you wouldn't have gotten a second attack. But E8 is a miss. Animal, you're up. Sly with an early lead, but Ark is uncovering some data little by little. Animal, your move. Give Animal 10 more seconds. There he is. Snarky, north 4. Snowstorm to C6. All right. North 4 is going to be A4. Snarky's a miss. Snowstorm to C6. C6 just going to break this ice block. It's on C6. But you do get your own snowstorm on F6. So you did break the ice block. But it was a miss. Dow, you're up. Actually, I did put both Snarkies in the wrong places, but they are in the right places. So I will tell you, this Snarky should have been here, and that was a miss by Villar. And this Snarky should be there, and that was a miss as well. So just so you know, I'm going by my scorecard. So don't read into anything on the map that you see, because they were both misses. And both had played North 4. Sorry, Villar had played North 2. So we'll move that. All right. Villard played North 2. Dimes North 4. So one Snarky died and one did not. Okay. Should be good. Dow, Snowstorm to F7. Snowstorm, going to freeze that block. And because that was frozen, and we don't duplicate those, this is the block that's frozen. So C6 And now we go to D5 would be the next frozen block for Dow. And F7. F7 is a hit, and it will break football's seal. Football, you're up. Football going to max seal himself. Funko, C4, D1. One of those two is a hit. One of those two is a hit. Pope, you're up. Binds to football, sad to F7. Binds to football, sad to F7. Football, res and restore. And that did not sink the ship, so it was not a two-seater. And Pope, get your second attack. Grizzly to G7. And Grizzly to G7 does break the ice block. Dimes at the start of the round. You're snarky. Already uncovered there. That sunk. So we're going to F4. Snarky all the way down to F4. F4 is a miss. Dimes your move. Snowstorm to C4. C4 is a hit. And there was no seal. So dimes with a big, big hit right there. All right, Villar, at the start of your turn, your snarky is going all the way down to C2. Nothing there. All right, Villar, your move. A little bit over the midway point. We got 26 minutes left. Sad to G7. Dimes. Pope's Grizzly to G7 did get rid of Dimes' seal. So Sad to G7. Dimes, Res, and Restore. We're now tied 1-1, but Sly still in an advantage because they have more on the next ship. Valar, your second attack. Hold up, Ocean Man. Snowstorm to G3. G3's a miss. Ocean Man going Grizzly to D4. Grizzly to D4 is a miss. Julia, you're up. Bunko, B4, B7. B4's a miss. B7's also a miss. Tiny, you're up. Super close game. Sly holding on to a slight advantage. Tiny Snowstorm to C5. C5's a miss. Gemstone, you're up. Ray did not get skipped. He typed his move early and I gave him the D4. Bunko, A6, F1. A6, F1. Jim, one of those two is a hit. One of those two is a hit. Animal, you're up. Snowstorm to C3. C3's a hit for the animal. Did not sink the ship yet. Dow, you're up. Snowstorm to A6. Ocean Man losing his seal. Football, you're up. 19 minutes. Sad to C2. Football sinking a second arc ship. They got one more to find, and football getting a bonus attack. Congratulations. Sinking that ship. Football. Next attack. And the grenade. You got to know Ark is on pins and needles here because they're down to their final boat. But Ark knows a little bit about Sly as well. Snowstorm to E2. E2's a miss. Pope, you're up. Sad to A6. Ocean Man, res and restore. Pope, give me your second grenade and your second attack. Grizzly to B6. Now that is about as good as it gets. Tiny loses his seal. Pope was locked in. All right, we have got a nail biter here. We are heading on to round 4. Dimes at the start of round 4. Snarky going down to D2. Did he find something? Did not. Dimes, your move. Can you find that last Ark boat? Scratch this. Hold on. I got to get Dimes' right one. Dimes. Yours goes over here. To E4. Breaks the ice block. All right, now it's your turn, Dimes. Maxiel over to Tiny. Bunko, D6, B7. Bunko, D6 and B7. One of those two is a hit. One of those two is a hit. All right, let's go to Villar. Villar. Let's check your snarky. And nothing. Snarky with a miss. Villar, you're up. Grizz to B6. That's a good hit, but Tiny's got a seal. Ocean Man, you're up. Maxiel Tiny, Grizzly to D6. D6 is a miss. Julia, you're up. Vines and a sad to B6. Vines to Tiny. Sad to B6. Julia sinks the ship. Sly with an advantage. Sly has sunk 2 3-seaters. Ark has sunk a 2-seater. Julia, this game's down to the wire. I got to tell you, you need a big, big attack here. Julia, what's your attack? And what's your next target? Bunko, H4, H5. H4 is a miss. H5 is a miss. Ouch. Tiny, you're up. Tiny snowstorm to B7. B7 breaks an ice block. But you do get the snowstorm effect on your side of the map. Gemstone, your move. It's a super close game. We got 10 minutes to go. There's a lot of things out there that could help both teams. Bunko, F1, C6. Did she get some info? F1 is a miss. C6 is also a miss. Ark coming up cold. Animal, your move. Snowstorm to B7. B7. Going to break Pope's seal. And another snowstorm for Team Sly. Inventory team is going to be checking y'all out. I mean, checking y'all out. All right. Dow, you're up. Can Ark find out some info? Maxiel to Pope. Bunko. E4, B8. E4 is a miss. B8 is also a miss. Wow, Sly is super hidden. Ark cannot find him. Football, you're up. Vines to Pope. Sad to B7. Vines to Pope. Sad to B7. Pope, res and restore. All right, football. Your move. One target to go somewhere out there. Grizzly to C7. C7's a miss. Pope, your move. 7 minutes to go. Bunko, C1, G5. Did he find it? C1 is a miss. G5 is also a miss. Dimes. Start of your turn. Snarky. Doesn't find anything. All the way down to B4. All right, Dimes, your move. Grizzly to B6. They're still hunting for Dow. B6 is a miss. Valar. Snarky doesn't find anything. Not for lack of trying. Valar, you're running out of time. Your move. You pretty much need to find out where this boat is right now. Bunko, A4, B5. Did she find it? A4 is a miss. B5 is a miss. Holy moly. Ocean Man, chance to be the hero. Your move. 4 minutes to go. Grizzly to A7. Dow lost his seal. Julia, you're up. Bunko, D3, F4. D3's a miss. F4 is also a miss. Tiny. Bring it home, Tiny. Grizzly to A7 and Tiny for the win. Congratulations, Team Sly, with a clean sweep. Now remember, before next month, scuba gear, Navy SEALs, life rafts, all those things are huge, huge buffs to extend the life of your team. Great game, both teams. Went down to the wire. Sly moving into first place with the win. Now 3-2. Arc 3-2, but Sly is 2-0 versus Team Arc. They hold the tiebreaker. A lot of fun tonight, though. A lot of fun. We're still early in the season. People are still learning. And the final boat. Team Sly. D4, D5, and D6. Would have still needed to break an ice block, but right in the middle of the map. So, great job tonight, everybody. A lot of fun. We got Faction Wars back Wednesday night. I look forward to these ship strikes every month because they're fast, they're fun, they're engaging, and we'll do it again at the end of next month. The next team game we'll play like this will be a farm fight game will be coming up in a couple of weeks. So, good job, everybody, and we'll see you Wednesday night for an awesome Faction War. Great job, everybody. We'll see you soon. Peace.